Tibiara, Agbo Kruka Krababi, over 5,000 plus communities. And I got them, I donations. SCC schools, I built a clinic. No one packaging now. What's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gasm offers you always. Gasm, the nation builder.
Thanks for staying with us here on Newsnight. You're welcome back. And tonight, 2 military men have been wounded while 2 civilians have sustained gunshot wounds in a fight over land at Domfasi near Obum in the Greater Accra region. According to the residents, the military men were deployed to the area to protect a parcel of land. The Impunyahene of Achim Apija is claiming ownership of. Now, today, the residents decided to demonstrate against the claim to the land, leading to the clashes. Joy News has cited pictures of burnt cars and motorcycles, and at least one soldier drenched in blood. Adom FM correspondent Seth Kofieje will soon be joining us with the latest from the ground. But first, the divisional chief of the Obum Stew, Ni Bakbo Amate, addressed the press a while ago.
Exactly 3 weeks ago, we had rumors of activities on Ghana lands that falls precisely under the Domiabra Obum constituency. Further investigation revealed that the presence of a team of armed land guards who were working within some military personnel terrorizing communities, claiming the attempt to send them to retrieve land that falls beyond the Densu River. They further said that the Densu River is the regional boundary, and as such, all lands which falls beyond the Densu River belong to the Achim Stew. These hooligans were led by one Nana Okumakuma.
Now, Nipakwa Amate is also demanding the withdrawal of the soldiers and the Impunyahene of Apedra, who is claiming ownership of the land.
Order the actions of these the following: the Achim Traditional Council, the Ghana Armed Forces, and the military personnel that have been assigned to protect the Bafua Okumakuma in perpetrating these unlawful actions. The Inspector General of Police action on land guards which is being left unattended. We would like to bring to the notice of the President, the Minister of Defense, the Interior Minister, the Minister for Chief Security Affairs, the Environmental Protection Agency, NADMO, CDS, IGP, BNI, the various traditional council, National Chief Imam, Christian Council, and the press that these claims are unfounded and therefore unwarranted and illegal.
That's the divisional chief of the Obum Stew, Ni Bakbo Amate, addressing a press conference a while ago, and I'm sure you will see pictures of this on our social media platforms, also on myjoyonline.com, about the situation in Domfasi near Obum in the Greater Accra region. So 2 military men have since been wounded, while 2 civilians have sustained gunshot wounds. We've also cited pictures of burnt cars and then motorcycles, and at least one soldier drenched in blood. Adom FM correspondent Seth Kofieje has been monitoring the situation. He will join us shortly with more on this. We've also tried to reach the PRO of the Achim Traditional Council. As it stands now, he's unaware of the situation. They're still checking and would revert with more on this. We're also trying the Ghana Armed Forces to get some reaction to this. What exactly is the situation and why are there men underground? We hear more on this. You're still listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM, but if you are in that area and you witness the situation, you can send us a message via WhatsApp at 0244340437. Now we move on to some other stories.
As from 24th August up to 18th September, all 584,000 final year JHS students and 146,000 staff, both in public and private schools, be given one hot meal a day.
You heard the president there making that announcement during update number 15. Now, the provision of one hot meal a day has entered the second day today, but it is emerging tonight in the Tamale metropolis that food delivered to students at the Paul's Junior High School were branded with NPP colors and pictures of the candidates of the area, Dr. Ibrahim Anyas. Now, students who interacted with our correspondent also raised questions with the quality of the meals.
So have you received your hot?
Yes, please. We've received it.
So how is it like?
Oh, it's not really how we expected it to be. We expected it to be a little bit attractive, but when we saw it, we weren't really happy about it. You know, I didn't really have the appetite to eat it. Yes.
Right.
But it wasn't attractive. Since the president said he was going to give us hot meals and those kind of things, we were expecting something better.
You are eating it right now, is it nice?
Yes, it's nice.
Somehow, we weren't expecting this type of food.
Wow, yes.
Like something nice, attractive, but like you see when you go to buy fried rice, the way it's attractive. But this one is like a mutu rice ball, and it's not attractive. Yes. We don't blame the president, we blame the cookers. So Nanado should talk to them and they'll cook palatable food for us.
It's not all that good, but because you see the food is not even many, and the way they package, if you see, you think the food is good, but it's not good. The water itself, the water is not even cold, it's hot water, but they say hot meal. We expected something better than this one. The food itself is not all that good.
And you see, as the branding of it, you shouldn't add politics into like serving food to children. These are children, for crying out loud. We are children. We are not supposed to be added into politics.
You have some students in the Tamale metropolis there raising concerns about the food delivered to them, and it's been branded in MPP colors with pictures of the candidates of the area. We're still trying to raise the candidate Ibrahim Anyas there, but listen to a video that has also gone viral.
Form up for Nana. Form up for Nana. Hey, boom. Hey, form up. Gentle. Count them with you. Gentle. Come on with you.
Form of
Yes. And you had there students who were being handed food. I'm sure if you've not seen that video, children were being handed the hot meal, and they were asked to say 4 more for Nana before the meal was handed to them. And that's the video. And also you've heard students in the Tamale metropolis raising concerns about why the food that was given them, or that the food that they were being handed, were branded in NPP colors. But meanwhile, schools in the Saboba district of the northern region are yet to receive their meals 2 days into the food distribution. Listen to 2 of the students at the Saboba DA Junior High School.
My name is Biswa. We did not receive it, and what I have to tell the government or our leaders is because of what they told us, since yesterday up to now, we have been coming with our eating, and now there are no food sellers around. So when it gets to the middle part of the learning, we don't concentrate because our stomachs are crying for food. Okay. So I would like to appeal to them to help us and get the food.
My name is Nankwe Okpadan Seria. What I have to tell them is they should try and give us the food, or they should try their possible best to give us the food, because since from yesterday we heard that last week by our headmaster that they'll be providing food for us. But since from yesterday to now, we didn't see anything like that. And what I have to tell my leaders is that they should try their possible best to give us the food. Because of that, if we are going to school, we will not eat, or some of us were orphans and our parents is poor, so we cannot be able to eat and come. But because we were told that we'll be given food, we're very happy, because some of us cannot provide it by our own. So, but now we are not seeing anything like that. What I have to tell my leader is they should try their possible best and offer the food for us.
So you heard that students, some students of the Saboba DA Junior High School. Our correspondent Martina Bugri has been out and about. She joins us on the line. So Martina, let's start off from Saboba, where these students say 2 days into the distribution, they are yet to receive one hot meal as promised them. What exactly is the issue with why this particular area, Saboba district, they've not received their meals?
I guess it's the entire district. I called to speak with the district director for the sorry about that. I called to speak to the one in charge of the school feeding, and he says that he's not in the district. I should speak with the district chief executive. I've been trying to reach him all day, but the line goes through and he doesn't pick the calls up. And so I
must add that we've also tried from here. We've tried to reach Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, the NPP parliamentary candidate for Tamale Central. It's been unsuccessful. We've also tried the DCE for Saboba, and that has been unsuccessful. We are still trying to reach the gender minister. She tells us she's in a meeting with some chiefs. We are still trying, and as and when we get them, we can get some reactions to that. But you've been speaking to the headmaster of the Saboba DA school. What has he been telling you, or what reasons has he been giving as to why they've not been provided the meals?
He says that they've also checked with their bosses and they are told that they are supposed to receive their meals, but up till now they haven't had anything yet. And his plea was that if they can pay attention to even just the students, because most of them come from very poor homes, some come from far, they don't have food to eat. And so if they could provide even for just the children, they would appreciate it so that they would at least have a serene environment to study.
Now, let's talk about the branding of the foods in Tamale Central. We had as the students raise the concerns about why children will be involved in politics and why the food they are being given is branded in political colors. What exactly is the situation?
Now, the food I saw was, we would normally expect jollof to be like the tomatoes color reddish, but it was like white. With some oil in it, and then the egg. And so, and it was actually not very cooked. You know, you could see the raw rice in it, half cooked. So most of the students said they wouldn't eat. They just took the egg and left the rice. But I spoke to one of the students, and she was a bit not happy about why they should roll politics into it. It's supposed to be a meal for them, and it's Ghana government. So why should they brand the parks with a candidate who is contesting the elections? And so she was like, they are small children, they shouldn't be brought into the political limelight. They should be allowed to study and come out successfully. And so she was really very angry about what she saw.
Well, and that's my colleague Martina Bugri there. So this situation is just in the Tamale Central. I'm sure that is the area that you've been to. Is it widespread? Have we recorded such in any other area? Okay, so it looks like I've just lost Martina Bugri. But let's bring in the Deputy Information Minister, Mr. Pius Hajide. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight, sir. So this is the situation that we've just reported on, the situation in Tamale Central and then Saboba. But let's deal with the Saboba issue first. We are told that the entire district, the children, is 2 days into the serving of the one hot meal per day, and the children have not received any food in that area. Do we know why? What's the situation?
Well, thank you very much, Emefa. Good evening to you and to our cherished listeners. Indeed, the President's instructions are that from Monday the 25th, school children at the basic level should be given one hot meal a day. This is because, in the President's view, the pension of students to get out of school in search of food poses risks to the health of the students, bearing in mind the COVID-19 situation. It has just come to my attention, this news item, we have quickly moved to interrogate the matter and to ascertain the veracity of the claim and to investigate the causes for the delay, if any, and in due course the findings of our interrogations and the remedial steps that ought to have been taken. Indeed, if indeed what we are hearing is true, will be announced. So this will be an exception, if you may. Our checks indicate that in almost every part of the country, in almost all districts, the president's instructions are being needed and the hot meals are being provided. This isolated and unfortunate development has to be looked into, and I'm aware that there are steps in place to, like I said, interrogate and investigate and take the necessary remedial steps.
Okay, so in Tamale Central, we are told, at least we heard from one child lamenting why the food that is being given them, one, is not attractive, and then is branded in political colors. We've heard, she tells us, or our reporter also tells us, that it's branded in the colors of the NPP and the parliamentary candidates for Tamale Central, Dr. Anyas. Are they allowed to do that?
My indication is that some parliamentary candidates on their own, even before His Excellency the President gave the instructions, had made plans to provide a hot meal a day, and I do not know if this extra from a constituent, be he a parliamentary candidate or not, to also wants to complement and to help students.
But that's not the impression we get. That's not the impression we get. It's not like something that was being done before the announcement or the start of the distribution.
That's what I'm saying to you, that if this is the one hot meal a day, it is not to be politicized, and we shall not allow for it to be politicized. If, however, this is an independent, private intervention by somebody who aspires to lead a constituency and thinks that he wants to show concern at the point of need and solve a problem that the constituency may face. Let's not confuse that for the one hot meal a day. Indeed, we will look into the matter. If it is an attempt to, as it were, take advantage of the president's intervention, that should be stopped immediately. The president has insisted that none of the interventions, the COVID-19.
We're getting some interruptions in your line as you speak, but have you seen that viral video also going around on the children being given food and were being told to say "4 more for Nana" before they were handed the food?
No, I haven't seen any such videos. The videos I have seen have been about the food that have been distributed successfully in several districts, including mine, that do not bear any political coloration. Something that is being coordinated by the institutional heads acting with the district chief executives and so on and so forth. I haven't seen videos of what you speak of. But like I said, I am reiterating the president's call that none of the interventions from the food distribution of food to
the line just got bad there with Pius Hajide, and that's the Deputy Information Minister responding to the one hot meal a day food that's been given to some students, and some of them being asked to recite 4 more for Nana before they were giving the food, and some also the food being packed in and then colored in or branded in NPP colors. But let's turn our attention to other things just before we go into business, because President Akufo-Addo says he's unmoved by criticism of his handling of the banking sector crisis, which led to the collapse of 7 indigenous banks and dozens of rural and microfinance institutions in the country, resulting in over 20 billion Ghana cedi loss. He's been out and about today. We'll have details of that. But yes, what transpired at the Bank of Ghana?
It is very good to hear that already, as a result of this cooperation between you and the Minister for Finance, but there are signs that the economy of Ghana is beginning to pick up again. And we're witnessing a revival of confidence, the sampling of consumer and business confidence in the economy suggests that things are picking up again. That can only be for the good of everybody in our country. We need to do whatever is necessary to make sure that it continues. It's going to be difficult to write the history of your governorship without talking about the banking sector issues. The success of the reforms will define a lot your period here as governor. Government has found it necessary to give the bank maximum support because it became obvious to us on coming into office that if the analysis that had been made about the fragility of the financial sector that we had inherited, we were not prepared to back up that analysis concretely. God knows what would happen to our country. And the manner in which the reforms have been carried out, I know there's a lot of controversy. There are many of the people who were responsible for the crisis in the first place and found it convenient.
President Akufo-Addo there, Presidential Affairs Correspondent Elton Brobe has just returned from that tour. He joins me in the studio. Elton, you started off from the Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
Where did you end?
So Bank of Ghana and then to the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Okay.
And after we went to the Jubilee House. But the main focus was the Bank of Ghana visit because of the issues involved. So of particular was the banking sector reforms that is ongoing. The president wanted to know the stage and then how much the status of payments made to people who were affected by the collapse of the 9 banks and the specialized deposit-taking institutions. We're told that 100% for the collapsed banks. GN Bank, they had issues, they worked it out, and they will start payments this week. But for the specialized deposit-taking institutions, they've paid 95%. Now, going forward was the key in terms of what Bank of Ghana is doing to ensure that we do not go back to this particular situation. And the governor says that they've put in place 3 measures. And one of them is what he describes as corporate governance directives to all banks to comply. And also they realize that some banks misreport their data, and some also give impression that they have capital that can be verified when indeed they don't have any money to show for it. So these are some of the things that they put in place to ensure that the crisis that has led to the loss of almost 20 billion Ghana cedi does not occur.
Thank you very much, Elton Brobe. Nice shirt you have there, by the way. It's a good time to bring in George Riafe. I'm sure he will delve deeper into that visit to the Bank of Ghana.
Emefa, you're right, and that I'll be getting you more details on what the Bank of Ghana is doing to avoid any crisis or another crisis in the banking sector. And Finance Minister Keno Furata insists government hasn't abandoned plans to position the country as a regional financial services center. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Hello, my neighbors. I don't know. You doing how you doing? August Abo. Hello, my neighbors. August Abo. Momo Manta Vedu. Hey. Hello, my neighbor. Hey. Hello, my neighbor. Hey, Momo. Hello, my neighbor.
August is here and Momo Month is back and bigger than ever. From now to the end of September, you stand a chance to win up to 10K Ghana cedis cash just by paying with Momo QR code or merchant ID when you shop to accumulate reward points. And you could be one of the 2,000 winners this Momo month. Winners will be rewarded in August and September, so keep checking your points by simply dialing *120# and be on your way to a sweet reward for shopping safe and using Momo. Just Momo it. We dare for you everywhere you go.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Puma Drinks, ready to add flavor to your life? Puma Drinks, bursting with so many flavors, you just can't have enough.
Welcome back to Business on News. Now, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, says they have instituted measures to help avoid another banking crisis in the sector. This is coming after recent development. The sector left many asking whether we have learned our lessons after some banks lost their license for breach of regulatory requirements. But engaging President Akufo-Addo at the bank premises during a working visit, Dr. Addison said he was optimistic that these measures will actually help the sector absorb any future shocks.
The first one I would refer to, the pattern of the new corporate governance directive, because at the heart of the financial sector crisis is a breakdown in corporate governance in the various banks that we license. The second one also has to do with misreporting of data. There's a lot of falsification of data by the financial institutions to the central bank. So we have brought in new technology, which would allow us to get the data directly from the sources, so that no intervening human intervention would be in there to distort the data that the central bank receives. The third one has to do with the capital verification process, because a lot of the banks reported that they had capital when in fact they didn't have any capital at all. So we have reviewed the entire capital verification process of the bank, and it's almost impossible now for us to have a bank that doesn't have any capital and yet is allowed to operate. And we feel that, of course, in addition to that, we have the capacity building for the staff of the banking solution department. We've had a lot of training programs with YMF and some of the other technical assistance provided. So these are some of the few things that we have done to ensure that this is not repeated.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Still on the sector, the number of invalid bids submitted by investors for the Bank of Ghana's dollar auction continues to decline marginally. Latest data from the Bank of Ghana on the auction showed that the number of invalid bids declined significantly. The development is to ensure that the banks and investors may be able to secure all their requests in terms of the dollars that they put forward. Dollar auction results showed that the regulator was able to sell $25 million. Now, a breakdown of the results showed that they were looking for dollars that is over a tenure of 7 and 15 days within a bid price of about $40 million, but they just got $10 million sold to them. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says government is on course to position the country as a regional financial services sector. The initiative will ensure that the country attracts huge financial and capital markets. They are well developed to attract bigger firms to do business in the country. Finance Minister emphasized that government will strengthen the financial sector to make it more viable. He was speaking on the floor of the Ghana Stock Exchange when he joined President Akufo-Addo to pay a working visit to the Ghana Stock Exchange here in Accra.
Therefore, the stability of the economy, what we have done in the international bond markets, it's now time to really unfurl ourselves to get companies listed to be able to make sure the regional financial services center becomes real, that we demutualize so that there will be more capital to do what we want to do. For you to know that between the SEC, Ministry of Finance, we've got your back and we're going to do everything we can for this to be the greatest market. And we are looking at a real economy, that's for sure. But you go to countries like Singapore, in the financial services sector, maybe about 60-70% of what they do as a country. And so I know we can do that with precocious, excited, intelligent people like you.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Now, businesses are yet to start drawing down the 2 billion cedis guarantee stimulus package for big firms and industries. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in the media review announced a series of programs to support businesses that have been hit badly by COVID-19. The Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Emefa Apawu, has been explaining to Joy Business why some big firms are yet to benefit from these funds.
The modalities for it are still being developed. We are engaging government on this. That one is more complicated because in that case it is guarantee scheme that government is putting in place. And that means that there are other parties involved. Critical part of it is the banks, for example, or the financial institutions that will have resources available to on-lend to business, which will then fall on the guarantee to give them comfort to on-lend. So it is more complicated. Only the first one which funds were made available by government, put in an account, and then being disbursed. This one, you need to also rely on banks and financial institutions to provide the resources for on-lending, and therefore it makes it slightly more complicated. So engagement is still going on, and I think very soon the modalities will come out, and ensuring that we get it right. Otherwise, industries will not benefit because of the complicated nature of it.
Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chumakabwa, government through the National Board for Small-Scale Industries is currently extending a little over 1 billion cedis in financial support to small businesses in the country. So the stock market in Liver lost 1 cedi 25 pesos to close at 11 Ghana cedis 34 pesos. MTN was down by a peso to close at 58 pesos. Calbank lost 4 pesos and is now worth 60 pesos. And those are some updates from the stock market, especially for those who have investment in that area. And that's all for Business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, George. Let's take some of your messages that you've sent in, thankfully so, via WhatsApp is 0244340437. This one from Ajiman in Accra. He says, Emefa, virtually none of our or few of these JHS children have attained the voting age. Why should anyone subject them to politics? Loads and loads of your messages. Now, this one is also from Boating, Nanekwemwa Boating. He says, these students, you've gotten free education, free exams, and now free food too, and you are complaining or giving uncomplimentary remarks. So can they speak about it? Now, AU Farouk in Tamale North says, when will this Langard issue stop in the capital? Governments must set up #Newsnight. Now, Samin Kumasi says, why these innocent students are being dragged into politics to satisfy selfish interests of some politicians is the question. Is it a hot meal really these students need? Okay. And Ajiman in Accra, okay, I've read that one. And this one from Nicholas Bento says, our politics has sunk so low. Please let us leave our GHS students out of our dirty politics. Come on, food too. We need to brand it for a political gain. God is watching us from a distance. And MFA, the disgraceful nature of branding the so-called free hot meal with NPP candidates' pictures did not end in Tamale Central alone. This is what Alhaji Habib Idrisu, Deputy CEO of Free Zones Board, did in Tolong Constituency 2, and he's added pictures of that. Now, Yao in Tema says, I love the spunk. You mean the toughness of the child condemning the branding of food. Catch them young and standing up for the right thing to be done, I should say. Now, Frank Intema says, please, the Deputy Minister should be truthful on these issues. And then I have another one says, my school, Ochobleku, DA Basic School, has not been served for 2 days. I wish I knew where Ochobleku is, but I'll find out. And SK says this hot meal thing is already a great insult to teachers, and now is being branded in party colors, which is a greater insult. And is the so-called hot meal coming from MPP party or from the government of Ghana? And I have a final one. I'll go through with that. It says, why should a hot news which is being provided with taxpayers' money be branded with political NPP colors? And the Deputy Information Minister saw nothing wrong with it. I'm not sure he said he sees nothing wrong with it, and was struggling to defend it. Where is this government taking our country to? And he talks about a situation in Adaklu and then Adaklu district. I've also seen pictures of one from Pando. The candidate is Quist or so. So you're still listening to News Night here on Joy 99.7 FM. If you also have your thoughts and comments, send them via WhatsApp at 0244-340437. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has lashed out at the opposition National Democratic Congress over accusations that some projects announced on government's infrastructure tracker are non-existent. Now, he is challenging them to show evidence of their record of infrastructure to allow for public scrutiny. Speaking on Accra-based Peace FM with Kwame Sefakai, Dr. Baumia indicated that government has since the town hall meeting added more projects, taking the number to more than 18,000. He insists even if 26 of those stated on the website are inaccurate, the government has performed well.
So one of the things that we should be proud of as a country, very proud of, is this website. It's the only country in Africa that has it, right? That you can go and check and see what government is doing for you. And it has not happened before in our country. Now, the NDC, they should go and put a similar website together.
They are not in power.
Oh, no, but you don't need to be in power to you say you have done it. You have been there. You don't need to be in power. We could have done this work without being in power. You know, it's just work. You have the data. Because they keep telling us they are not in power, but they can tell us they've done 2,000 this and 2,000 that. That means they have the data. I'm challenging them to just put this on the website, and we can interrogate this data district by district. Kwame, I tell you, they cannot do it because a lot of the projects they talk about do not exist.
The system of yours do not exist.
Well, this is what I'm saying, that I'll come to this in a moment. But I challenge them to do it. It's good to criticize, but it's more important to also show what you have done. They cannot show what they have done at this level of detail. They haven't been able to, So, but I asked them, maybe they can take the next 2 weeks. They should put it out. And then we can also interrogate, right? Now, you've pointed out that almost say 26 projects so far are not existing. Now, we will interrogate that list because, sometimes they are very economical with the truth, and I'm putting it mildly. So we will interrogate that list and see, because I've heard my assistant telling me that they have projects like Benchman Kwanta Ajefua on it, which is ongoing, but they are saying it doesn't exist.
Dema Association.
So you know that Dema Association, Techimantia, that road is ongoing. There are 3 contractors on that stretch, and it's ongoing, but they are saying it doesn't exist. Of course, the Kanda
water. The Kanda borehole.
Kanda borehole, for example, is one that was recorded as an ongoing project. Okay? Now and this is the benefit of the transparency we've introduced. Now you can see, if you say, I've done this here, the public will say it's not there. If the NC says it's here, they say, no, it's not there, right? So the Kanda borehole, people pointed out that it seems to have been abandoned. So we checked with the municipality, and they're saying yes, in fact, they did dig the borehole, but they found that the water salinity was bad. Okay. So they decided to cap it and not continue with the project. But I think in their entries, they did not recognize it as an abandoned project. But those are very easy to amend. Kwame, as we put this website together, many districts are coming, and they have come, so we have these projects that you didn't capture.
That's Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia speaking to Kwame Sefakai on Peace FM this morning. Now, the 2020 NPP manifesto launched this Saturday made 143 promises, with the majority of the promises focusing on the health sector. Now, the NPP makes far less promises now than they did in 2016 when they were in opposition. Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma has dismissed suggestions that the party has had a reality check. My colleague and head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, has been analyzing the 2 manifestos and joins me live from a Center for Democratic Development program about manifestos. So, Evans, we counted 143 promises in all in the 2020 NPP manifesto. What's the breakdown?
So the breakdown, as you mentioned, is that health is the sector with the leading number of promises at 22 promises, and that gives you an indication of where the focus of the party is. It's in health this time. Remember, in 2016, the focus was on education, and if you think about it, this is the time of COVID, and so obviously health has become such a top priority for people. In second place, in fact, tied in second place, is the area of education and transport. Both of them coming in with 20 promises each. And again, education is top of the priority. Transport as well, which comes in as a surprise. You see the airport coming in there. In third place is agriculture, for obvious reasons. We know how much agriculture plays a role. The sector with the least amount of number of promises is foreign affairs. And of course, this is a country where we're not really big on foreign affairs. If you compare this to 2016, Imani, for example, counted 510 promises. And so there's a dramatic reduction in number of share promises made from one election year to the next.
And we've been comparing that with the 2016 manifesto?
Yes, we have. I mean, if you look at the 2016 manifesto, apart from the fact that the number of promises had dropped quite significantly from 510 to 143, you see also that in the 2016 manifesto, we had a standout flagship promise, which was the 3 SHS. If you come to the 2020 manifesto, there's no obvious standout flagship promise. Again, if you look at the 2016 manifesto, promises were simplified into number-based slogans. So remember, we had one district, one factory, one village, one dam, one constituency, $1 million. Now in 2020, that has given way. There's a departure from a number-based promises to a more general framing of the promises. Now, again, if you look at it closely, we also found that there are at least 13 promises that have been repeated, lifted from 2016 and reintroduced in 2020. Mm-hmm. I mean, that begs the question: is it that they couldn't fulfill it and they have brought it back? Now, question to ask, and this was put to Kwejo yesterday: is this a reality check stepping in for the government? This was a reaction.
When you are in opposition, you cast a broad vision of what you seek to do. When you come to power, you get a reality check. No, it's not a reality check. That's what happens to you. You do what you ought to do to keep faith with the people, that these are my promises. That's what we call reality check. If at the end of your tenure, there are, 13 promises, as you mentioned, which are outstanding, there's nothing embarrassing about raising those promises into your second term. That, in all honesty, I was able to complete these ones or come a very far distance in these ones.
Now, Evans, we also found one policy that appeared to have been implemented by the John Mahama administration.
Yes, this has to do with the 2020 manifesto on page 1579. The NDP says that they will launch a road maintenance infrastructure program to employ the youth. Emefa, do you recall in 2011, the NDC had the youth in road maintenance module under the National Youth Employment Program. I mean, that sounded pretty familiar to me. And so I asked Kwejo on PMSS yesterday, what is the difference between what they're promising and what the NDC had already implemented in 2011?
Now, Evans, we are expanding this manifesto scrutiny into a new program here on your election headquarters. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, this is called a manifesto tracker, and a manifesto tracker simply does a few things. One, we want to interrogate and scrutinize the promises and ask the questions that do actually address the needs of the people. That's the single most important question we're going to solve. We're trying to resolve with this particular show. And what problems are these promises attempting to resolve? Cost, implementation. How much is it going to cost us to roll it out? These are key questions I want to ask with this tracker, and we're going to roll it out on the Super Morning Show every Thursday and on PM Express every Wednesday.
We look forward to that. That's our head of our political desk, Evans Mensah. Now, a new clinic in the Upper East regional town of Bassa now has a borehole after years of health workers trekking hours to fetch water. The intervention from Promasido Ghana Limited, producers of Cowbell, is in response to stories told on the Joineys' Safe Water Project, which told stories of several communities across the country without water. A report by my colleague, Justice Beidou.
This is the Bassa Chips compound, the first port of call for this village's 1,000 or so residents when they get ill. It was built 3 years ago after years of villagers trekking to the bigger town of Fombisi, the district capital, for health care. That journey could take up to an hour.
We run 24-hour service at the community. We do ANC. We do CWC.
When this health center was built, there was relief, but that was short-lived. The center, like the community in which it is located itself, had no water.
When I was growing up, we used to go to, there's a river between Wesi and Bassa. So we used to go there and fetch. Some we walk and some we use baskets. Yeah. So we used to go there and fetch water.
We say water is life. We use water when the ladies come for ANC, especially the pregnant women. they feed themselves frequently. They need to wash their hands. They need to, like sometimes some of them come when they are to take their SP drugs. We need water. We used to, sometimes when we are coming from town, which is the Fumbisi township, I had to pick my motorbike, tie a gallon of water, and come and pour. Sometimes we travel to other places to get gallons of water.
Today, as the clinic has water, the entire community too has water. People from far and near, mostly children like this boy, who used to make the long walk to fetch water, now have a safe place to get sane.
This borehole that is here is in the name of the facilities for health delivery, but the whole community is benefiting from it because water is life. And we say thank you, Cowbell Ghana. May God bless you all.
Thank you for the bola to Jan Naming, the Bankra, a Jamani Tima Jan Yuk, at Nanjan Yotukan.
We used to walk long distances to get the water. Now we are very relieved because we can have the water here.
I would say very thank you to Cowbell Ghana because they have solved a main problem, or they have reduced a main problem for me or for the entire community.
And we say a big thank you to Pumasiro Company Limited, producers of Cowbell. That report put together by Justice Bede. We have more of such as he intervened in our Safe Water project. And that's it for tonight's edition of Newsnight. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for your company. I leave you with this.
Osemo me bano e ka me ho send be a ye benya majority of parliament yetimi ye say adwuma ni nyina e ma mo enti me the honorable Gidisu esan hye mo nsa esre mo se mo nto abano ma no na yempe skirt and blouse bia otoma papa na o se otoma obano send be ya ye be kan bom na ya ye mo adwuma